All right, my next guest spent 46 months in prison, half of which roughly was waiting, and half of which was after being convicted for his involvement in January the 6th. Of course, he's been pardoned now. Shane Jenkins, the executive director of Stand in the Gap, joining me now. Shane, good morning. Nice to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Remarkable story. All right, so tell me about your involvement in J-6. Let's keep it short here because I want to get to Dan Bongino and him being picked and what you think of that. But I want to start with your story because people want to know your story because there are so many of them. Tell me about January the 6th. What happened and why were you targeted?
Well, I was there to protest what I felt like was a stolen election. I just wanted the Congress to send the electors back to the states. So if the states we had questions, we could do an investigation. And they refused to do that. And, you know, I didn't go with any ill will when I went to the Capitol. I went to go see the second set of speakers. It was supposed to be led off by Mike Pompeo and several other people. And by the time I got there, the people were already up on the lower West Terrace, and I climbed up there, and what I saw, frankly, it broke my heart up there in the lower West Terrace. And
Why?
I saw people being brutalized by the DC police, and you know, it was bloody, and there was people crying, getting pepper spray out of their face, and then it was just it quickly devolved from there into chaos. And unfortunately, I fell into the chaos and was arrested 2 months later.
What does that mean? Did you do anything you regret? Tell me about what you did. Do you regret it? Did you do something wrong? What do you think, really, honestly?
As a Christian, you know, if you just took the videos out of context, it would be a bad representation of Jesus Christ, I believe. And so I do regret that, although the actions that I took were in defense of others and in preservation of life. And so I don't regret that. I do regret the way that it may appear if you just take it out of context, though.
Right. So did you get a pardon or a commutation?
I got a pardon, 100 unconditional presidential pardon.
All right. So you're on with the rest of your life. And so where do you go from here?
Well, while I was in prison, in the DC Gulag, actually, I cast the vision for a foundation called Stand in the Gap. And right now we're working on resetting January 6th men's and families' lives. And so we're working on a few programs like Mission Memory Maker, where we're going to fund a 3 to 5 day vacation with each family of a January 6er who did over 1,000 days in jail, because we want them to reestablish those familial bonds with their loved ones. We're also working on getting all the guys health care so they can get medical and dental treatment, because the treatment they received in jail was horrible. I can testify to that. And then also we're working on credit repair for all the January 6 people, because a majority of the people's credit was destroyed.
Oh, sure. They lost jobs, lost homes, lost marriages, lost everything, as you know. All right, so what about Dan Bongino being picked for the FBI deputy director? Does not require Senate confirmation, has those on the left screaming mad again, but that's pretty much a daily routine. What do you make of this?
You know, I love it. I love the fact that we've got these people in here who have been fighting the good fight, who have been faithful to the party and uncovering the truth, spitting the truth. I used to listen to Dan Bongino in the DC Gulag, and so it is awesome to hear somebody who was sharing our stories out and fighting for us, and then to see them in a position where they can make a positive impact and strip this polarized political bureaucracy stuff away. We don't need that. It needs to be even-handed justice and equal across the board.
Agree with that. So what would you like to see happen now when it comes to the January 6th committee that looked into this? That obviously it was a stacked committee. It wasn't set in there to do the right thing. It was set in there to deliver a political narrative, which it did. Look, the Republicans weren't even represented on the committee. Because the two that were placed on there were Democrats in large part. Anyhow, go ahead.
They're gone now, too. No, I agree. I would like some answers. You know, 4 people died on January 6th. Many people killed themselves I think it's 5 or 8 people, I'm not sure exactly, killed themselves to avoid the treatment that myself and many of our other January 6 brothers were the treatment we received. And so the treatment, like you mentioned, people dying, people going through divorces, people losing businesses, people losing homes. And these are honorable men, lived good lives, served in the military, law enforcement, prison guards, Green Berets, Army Rangers. And these are guys that that I love like my brothers now. And so I want there to be a deep dive investigation for them to uncover the truth about what happened on January 6th.
So is that part of what you hope that you hear from Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, or Attorney General Pam Bondi, or any of them?
Absolutely. We that's why we voted, and President Trump got the mandate, I believe, and so he put those people in there, and we expect them to uphold it, hold the line, and get that truth out there. I mean, it's anything less is unacceptable, honestly.
So you've been out for a while now. How you doing?
I've been out for 38 days, man, and it has been phenomenal. I got to go play top golf with my kids last night, and it's just been. I went to CPAC. We returned to the Capitol, and it's just been a surreal thing. You know?
Yeah, I saw a host of your fellow inmates at CPAC outside the main hall. Pretty happy folks overall. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I just would say we have a two-prong attack. We're going to do those things for the January 6th people. If you can, help us fight the fight for justice reform. We're passionate about that. If you go to standinthegap.foundation, come check us out and see what we're doing. And if you can, drop a few dollars. If not, just share what we're doing on social media. Tell your friends about it. We appreciate any help that you can provide.
There you have it. Shane Jenkins, Stand in the Gap. 38 days on the outside of that gulag. Congratulations, by the way, on the pardon.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate you being here. Tell your friends. I want to hear all the stories here on this program. So thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
All right, there you have it. Another story from January the 6th. Look, he doesn't say his hands were completely clean, but I think he can tell you that he got over-prosecuted. And over-prosecuted was the mantra of these folks. Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, they did nothing to help any of it. Good thing they're gone. I agree. I'll take a break and be back. It's the Steve Gruber Show. Nice to see you today.